subscribe to the 13 Mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Jr., driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
I was just thinking about that. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing. Y'all took it just whatever you want to do over there.
We tried. We were just pointing out that we wasn't on the.
Hey, he talks about us slacking.
I know that was
I'll
pretty.
tell you.
That's pretty bad.
Well, hey, you're not wearing the shirt, so hey, till you put your shirts on.
He is wearing it.
But visible, visible. Do I need to spell that out for you?
No.
We just get stickers. Then whatever we're wearing, we can
I got a whole bunch of comments, but I'll keep them to myself. Right here.
You scared? Say you scared.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it right back here.
So, what do y'all think with all the changes in the NASCAR rules here lately?
I think the qualifying, I mean, I'm not one for change, so I always like, at first, when it first comes out here, I was like, man, I don't know. I like tradition, because for me, if I was ever, I mean, not that I would ever win a championship or run, I would always want to do it against the old guys or the old system. I'm kind of an old school type guy, but I mean, after you look at it and see how it's going to work out, it is going to bring a lot of attention to qualifying, and I think it's going to be something kind of fun to watch. I mean,
if you've watched
a tremendous amount. But
you've watched Formula One qualifying before, right? Haven't?
No, I haven't. I mean, I know it's kind of very similar.
When it gets to the last few minutes, then it's when it starts getting hectic, because then everybody's trying to adjust what they can to get their car to be in that top group to move on to the next.
But then I heard tonight, we was riding on the way over here, heard tonight that how they're going to line them up on pit road prior to qualifying is by a blind draw. So in other words,
see, that was the other thing I was worried.
You won't have them all running out there at one time. You'll be going out under
some type of.
They're going to put you out there
in an order of some sort.
Well, I mean, got 30 minutes, so.
Yeah.
Then the other thing too, they just released it yesterday. I think it's yesterday or today. They're going to be changing the rules on the penalties.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't really read through that, so I don't really know exactly how that's going to work. I know they weren't happy.
What is up with this guy?
I know they weren't really happy last year.
It's supposed to be more transparent.
Yeah,
what
you're going to have
doing.
warnings, and if you get so many warnings, then you got your penalty 1. Then you got penalty 2 level, penalty 3, penalty 4, up to 6.
And then who it affects?
I kind of skimmed over it.
And then who it affects if you get suspended? Who it affects?
And repetition, how much other stuff they'll throw on there, all that other crap.
Because before it was just kind of a big open.
Yeah, what they want to throw at you.
Yeah, it's whatever Brian decided.
Well, he says that people wanted to be more transparent. Well, it's going to be transparent.
Now they also have a new final person for doing the moderating too at the very top level now. They have a new person that is the final word say so.
Oh yeah, right.
On the stuff.
Yeah, I saw that. I can't remember who it was now.
Remember the brain card.
Well, you caught me off guard when you said moderator. That was when I was trying. Wait a minute, what's he talking about?
Words.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look it up for you while y'all are thinking about it.
And then the playoff system, and at first it's kind of the same thing. I don't really like it, but I mean it is going to be fun to watch the last race.
Well,
but I don't like the.
I disagree with one thing about the whole thing. I like everything they do all the way up to it. You put the 16 guys in, you cut off after 3 races, you get rid of 4 or however many they got.
Yeah, I think it's 4.
Cut them off, but I still think you come down to that last race. I mean, it's it. I mean, if something freak happens, you're done.
Yeah.
And
I would like to see it a 2 or 3 race thing, at least, instead of just all for one.
maybe let the last 3 races count towards the champion, or the last.
I would agree with that. I totally would agree
Because
with that.
I just don't see a one and done deal.
I still like the consistency.
All right, let's say you put one Hendrick car, one RCR car, one Waltrip car, one Gibbs car in the final 4. You still got 3 other Hendrick cars out there. You still got other Waltrip cars out there. You still got the other Gibbs cars out there. What's to say? And don't even look at me and tell me it doesn't. You know that they ain't gonna fix that. But it's still team orders. You can still knock somebody out of it.
You could.
Yeah,
I think it'd be unlikely.
But it's been going on for years.
Yeah, and it's just coming to where it's
But
being
now
more
it's going to be
visible.
more. It's going to be open right there. Okay, well, I ain't got no choice. I got to knock him out of the way. It's like you do in arena races.
Yeah.
Hey, you got what you got to do, right?
But I mean, that's what they're going to do. They're going to knock them. And even I talked to a guy the other day. And he said, "Yeah, we get to that point. Yeah, I'm going to knock somebody out."
Brian Moss,
Yeah.
former president of Gulfstream Aerospace, has been selected as the final appeals officer.
The last guy, he was being too generous.
Yeah, he evidently didn't go along with what the NASCAR said. We don't like him.
I was surprised. I mean,
He overturned a lot of NASCAR's decisions.
yeah, that one big one, they were wrong.
I agree with. I disagree with a lot of stuff that went on with that, but that's what's going to happen. You watch and see what I'm telling you. The last race of the season, everybody's going.
Well, but I mean, from
But it's going to be fun to watch for people
right,
to watch.
but that's what NASCAR wants. It's going to create a ton of excitement. I don't agree. I'm with you. I would like to see him do it the last 3 races or something.
It's hard for me to put somebody down or knock somebody out of a 1-race deal that's probably been red hot all year long, and then one crazy thing comes up. You know, anything could happen.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah,
But that's racing.
on the restart. Well, it is.
It's
On
racing.
the restart, they could get together and
It's just,
they could be done.
yeah.
Put a hole in the radiator or knock the nose in and it overheats. I mean, it's
Or drive into people like you do at arena races.
Well,
and,
you know.
it just,
that'll ensure that they ain't
It
going.
seems like a common recurring theme.
especially if the guy's name is Brehm. You just seem to have a problem with that car.
Well, we haven't touched since,
No.
but we will before the season's over.
And then
I'm
you go,
sure.
and then you have some little kid you try to run over last time.
From 7 to 15.
We had to get Testerman back here. Somebody pick on somebody else besides me. He's
Yeah.
fun to pick on.
Yeah.
Oh, he's been Prelimized. Preliman got him too.
Oh,
They
my
done had-
goodness.
They done had a little talk too.
Who was that?
Little Testerman, the boy that we had.
Oh,
Cam-
okay.
Camden, yeah. He's a good kid.
And Roger, there's hope for you in NASCAR. Morgan Shepherd is going to try to make.
71 years old. I seen it today.
And since you're the oldest one,
I'll go in there. I'll show him how it's done.
They'd be the tire changer.
I'll go in there and show him how it's
Citizen
done.
crew.
Faith was glad when I stopped racing because she was one of those nervous ninnies when it came to it's time for me out on that track. 100 laps worth of going hide under the bleachers doing this, or
Yeah, that's
I've known worse people. Was it John Hicks? His wife Brenda. She used to puke whenever he went out to go race.
Oh, is there?
Yeah. So I mean,
I think the only one was Phil Warren's wife, man.
well, she just wanted to kick your ass. That's all there was to it.
One too. I love her.
And good thing I never got into Phil when I was running.
She was tough. She was the best. I think she about half supported his racing career for the most part.
what's he doing now?
I don't know who
Still-
he's working for now. I don't think I think he's just kind of freelancing.
I thought he was working with CE there for a while.
he
He
was,
was,
but he
he
left
was.
CE and
Yeah.
went to work for Buck Gotze's son.
Doug.
Uh huh.
Yeah, Doug worked for Doug for like a year, and they just had like a horrible season. He got wrecked. He got tore up at Richmond, tore a car up and a motor at the Denny Hamlin thing, and at the end of the season, he just said he was going to quit racing, and then Phil left.
Yeah, the other thing, Denny Hamlin race is going to be at South Boston.
Yeah, I seen that.
That
sucks, really.
Yeah,
I mean, it's good for South Boston, but
yeah,
I guess because it's close to.
It ain't that much closer.
Well,
it's 90 minutes that way and it's 90 minutes this way.
Yeah, but
we've got an airport they can fly into and land, and they actually had clearance at Langley.
What I heard was it's on the way to Richmond. South Boston is on the way to Richmond. The guys can go there. I think it was a Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday night.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a week.
Yeah, they'll have a Wednesday.
So
and Thursday
it'll be on their way.
practice.
That way they don't have to.
No, I think it's gonna be run on Thursday.
It's gonna be on Thursday night, isn't it?
I know it's something like that.
I would be interested to catch up with Kathy one day and ask her what they did to get that cemented in, because Langley was giving them front and back gate. And let's talk racing. Hey, Amber. Hang on, let me put you on hold so we can get you on here real quick.
Let's talk racing. Hello, Amber.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. This is Jack Dodson. How you been?
I'm good.
I've got Scott Allen and Roger Brehm with us, and see what's going on in your world today.
Awesome.
All right. Well, give us a little background about Amber Slagle so we know who she is and where she came from.
I'm a 17-year-old female racer from Waterford, Michigan. Finishing up my senior year in high school, and just a race car driver.
Where all have you raced?
I've just traveled all around Michigan right now. I've gone to Springport Motor Speedway, Owasso Speedway, Dixie Motor Speedway, Toledo Speedway, and I just recently went down to Georgia for Speed Fest.
All right. What type of division are you doing? You doing just late models?
Yeah, I'm in the CRA late model JAGS All-Star Series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I just moved up to this year, so we're making our first year in this car.
All right. Well, give us a little background. Who you got sponsoring you, and what all you got going on there?
I have MCM Motorsports sponsoring me as my main one right now, and I have Animal Way Foundation, AMSOIL, and we are still open and looking for more. Everything counts.
So will you be running the full series with the CRA cars?
Yeah, that's the plan. We're still looking for more sponsors to help us out to get us to run the full series. As of right now, it looks like things are going pretty good. We're trying to run and win Rookie of the Year this year, so we'll see how it all goes.
So what's the 24? Is that a favorite race car driver you get it from Jeff Gordon, or is that just what's the significance of your number?
Yeah, I got it from Jeff Gordon. When I was a little girl, before I started racing, just watching NASCAR with my dad. For some reason, I fell in love with Jeff's rainbow car and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I really like the number 24. When I started racing, I was like, I want 24. And it's just stuck ever since.
So what got you into racing? Does your dad race, or how did that come about?
I'm the first one in the family that started the racing. My dad is a mechanic, and he's always been around cars, and he's always been into racing, just never did it. So one day he brought home a quarter midget and asked me if I wanted to go practice. At the time, I was only 7 years old, so I didn't really understand what I was getting into. Once I got in it, I just thought it was a blast, and I was like, wow, this is something I think I'll love. And he couldn't get me out of the car, and it just kept going ever since.
So what all have you raced?
Quarter midget, 7, raced those for about 6 years. Moved up to a Dodge Neon, the sports stock class, when I was 11. I raced that for 2 years when I won championship. decided that I wanted to move up again and go faster. Moved up to the Sportsman Series, which is a late model, and raced that for 2 years, and now I'm in the CRA Crate Series.
These kids move up fast these days.
What is your this is a Al Pearce question really, but what is your timetable and what are you looking to get to down the road?
I definitely want to get to NASCAR. That's my dream. As of right now, next year, I'd like to be looking into the Super Late Model Series, and I'll just keep working my way slowly up to NASCAR, and keep progressing as time goes on, and see where that can get me. I don't want to jump too fast and hurt myself, so just take my time, and we'll get there.
Now, do you have another driver that you look for advice, being that you're the first driver in your family?
Honestly, I really don't. I do talk to like a lot of other drivers and get some advice, but there's not really one specific person that I would go to for any advice.
Who are some of your role models that you try to emulate along the way?
Probably Jeff Gordon, definitely, because he started at a young age like me in go-karts. He worked his way up just like I did. Same with Brad Keselowski, with him being a Michigan boy too. That definitely helps that I can make it. So I look up to him.
Well, this is a question that was brought up here a minute ago. Out of all your racing you've done, what is your most embarrassing moment you've had racing?
The most embarrassing?
Now tell the truth.
Yeah.
This one's pretty embarrassing. When I was leading the race last year, I got all excited about it, so I was leading the time of the whole year. Got EMC, and I had a guy come out on the outside as fast as he probably could. I didn't see him there, and I ran him right up the wall. And his whole car went right up the side of the wall. That was pretty embarrassing, because it's a rookie mistake, but that was embarrassing to me for fans to see that happen.
Now, you have a spotter from now on, right?
Yeah, I do.
Well, that was the spotter's fault. It's never the driver's fault.
I didn't have a spotter at the time when that happened.
Ooh.
Spotter in that class.
All right. What did the guy say to you after you put him in the wall?
He was mad. Really mad. But we're good now. We're buddies now, so it's all good. Things work out in the end.
Okay. You didn't get called any dirty names or nothing like that, right?
No.
Okay.
Was it your boyfriend by any chance, was it? Be like a Danica Patrick and Stenhouse.
Yeah.
All right. Well, give us a little more about your sponsors and everything, and tell us a little more about yourself before we get ready to let you go.
Well, you can like my fan page at Amber Slagle Racing, or follow me on Twitter at Amber Slagle. I am having a website coming up soon, so just stay updated on my fan page. And the website will be amberslageracing.com.
All right.
I think that's about it.
Well, we wish you a lot of luck and hope you have a good year this year, and we'll talk to you again and try to get you back on here again soon.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for calling.
Yep. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
That's funny about her leading the race, because my he was a drug addict and died a long time ago. But he's my brother-in-law, step-brother-in-law, whatever. He used to race at Dixieland, and he goes, "Man, why don't you help me work on my race car?" And I said, "Well, what's it doing?" I'd tell him, do some things to it. I was running the Langley, and he was running over it. Well, he says, "Man, what you said worked just right, because I was leading the race." I said, "Well, did you win?" He's like, "No, I hit the wall." So what happened?
The number
He's
you
like,
have dialed.
"Well, I was leading the race, and I had about a straightaway lead, I guess. They had no spotters, no radios. He did one of these numbers. He looked in the back to see how big a lead he's like,
Golly.
man, I don't know if I told anybody that story.
Did you see? Did you see the thing about the guy at the race, the Winterfest race last week that ran into the water? They put his
I
lace-
seen the picture. Yeah, the whole.
There's
They're
water.
wedging it out.
There is water.
I thought it was a joke. I didn't really think somebody drove it out.
There's water in the infield.
All right. I'm gonna go
It was so far from the racetrack, I didn't see it.
We'll come back to that in a minute. I think
Look it up.
Who's next? Oh, yeah. Oh, this is Kim here.
Let's talk racing. And how you doing, Mr. Squire?
Well, thank you.
Good. It's an honor to have you on the show tonight. We really appreciate you taking time out to come on here, and so we can pick your brain a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
So give us, you know, you've been around for a long time, and you know a lot about a lot of the older guys that come along in racing. Tell us some of the amazing stories about some of the guys that you knew coming along.
Oh, Lord.
We got a few hours for that
Yeah.
How far back do you want to go?
Well, I know you did. You were really at one time. Well, I think you still do. You're still out at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and weren't you around about the time when Curtis Turner and all them were out there too?
Yeah, well, I was just on the end of Curtis and that crowd. Yeah, he certainly was. It's funny you bring him up. Yeah, because I was there when he got reinstated in NASCAR. He banned for life, and that lasted about 2 years. Back he came and ran the Saturday race in the February speed weeks and won the darn thing. I asked him how it felt to be back and win at Daytona after his reinstatement, and he said, quote, well, I really don't know. I haven't been to bed since night before last.
But you were there, and you worked with Neil Bonnet some too. What are some of the stories about Neil? Because you know, I was really a big Neil Bonnet fan.
Well, we all were. I mean, he was really brilliant. You know, he was a pipe fitter, but that hid a tremendous personality, a lot of quick thinking, and a great humorist. We had a lot of fun. We did a series of shows with him, a series called Winners, and he was the host.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yeah, he was terrific on it, and I always consider that a great loss. It was just too bad. And a lot of people tried to talk him out of going back because he had a couple of incidents that were scary. But he'd been working on some of Dale's cars and felt very, very confident that he was bulletproof and that he could make it through. And he thought that Daytona Olden won, and that didn't work out. I have a hard time. There were so many funny things that he did and he said that, you know, you catch me off guard.
Well,
grab him. All I can say is that he was a very unique and special individual, no question about it, and a great an analyst, because he, like Jarrett and Benny Parsons, could identify with the average fan and make them understand about cars, equipment, racing tactics, all that sort of thing.
You know, you have your place there at the Hall of Fame and everything. What do you think about the Hall of Fame and the people that we've got in there so far? I know you probably got some stories about some of those people.
Well, I think they've done a pretty darn good job. That's an interesting group that takes the vote, and of course the fans participate in a small portion of it. But the business of trying to balance those who created what was to come kind of get lost in the shuffle, and they've done a really good job of trying to maintain an understanding of those people, like Tim Flock, who
who went in this year. I thought it was rather interesting this year that when they got down to it, Richard at the not on the actual business of the putting those people into the Hall of Fame on the television show, but at the dinner before, Richard said something very strange. He said, "You know, this is really quite bittersweet for me," and it kind of took everybody back a little because here he had his brother Maurice becoming the fourth member of that family with Lee and Richard and cousin Dale Inman in there. That Maurice filled it out, and he said, "And this ends the Petty dynasty. Whatever we had, getting Maurice in is wonderful, but that's the end of it." And I thought that was pretty telling, that Richard's always been a little bit ahead on thinking about what it comes down to. And with Adam being killed, and the record on his own son is one that I've always really felt kind of bad about, because I thought he handled that about as well as anyone could. To walk in the shoes of the man who became the king is not an easy way to stride through life. And I thought that was handled about as well as anyone could possibly do it, and he deserved credit for it.
I do too. He did. I mean, you know, he had a lot to live up to during that time.
Yeah, and it wasn't easy at all. And he won some races. You know, he won the 600. He got lucky there at Richmond, but generally speaking, he was not a bad racer. And too bad that it couldn't continue. But I'm sure that with what happened in New Hampshire to Adam, that really changed his attitude, and it was a business, and he continued at it, but not with the same fervor that he had when he went down there that first year to Daytona and won the ARCA race, and just kept on coming.
I know you've got a lot of insight into things as far as the sport as it is right now, and the changes that are coming about in the sport. How do you look at those things, and how do you feel about them?
Well, they're trying things, and everything changes. There's no question about that.
Right.
And the fact that they're looking at it and giving serious consideration to making changes that they feel will add a dimension of drama and excitement to it that has been lacking. And I give them credit for that. I think they didn't go far enough. I always thought they ought to take 13 guys and eliminate one a show in that final 10 races and get down to a showdown between two guys. Two always works better than anything else. Example are teams, and boxing fights, everything. When it's one-on-one and the public has to make a decision about which one they like and which one they don't like so well, and everybody has different opinions, that's really what ties people up and focuses them. And it's hard to get that when you've got a dozen or 43. And but they've taken a big stride here. Nobody's ever tried this before, and it will get down to 4. So we'll see what happens with that. Because for sure, those 4, when it comes to that final show, boy, the show is on. What kind of strategy do you do? How conservative do you stay for how long? Do you just want to run it like Tony Stewart does and run it all out? And it'll be a very fascinating finish to the year, and then we'll make a judgment.
Looking back through the years, Brian France seems to, you know, he's looking at what the fans want and what the fans have asked for, and he works towards that way. If you look at him and the Bill France and Big Bill, Do you see him being more of an innovator than they are, or do you think that it's just the change of the times?
Well, he's in this. He's in the same position as Kyle. He's third generation, and in back of him, the innovator, the creator, and one of the best business stories of the 20th century will be the story of France Sr.
Mm-hmm.
Came from nothing, and I mean nothing, and created a super speedway in Daytona Beach, which had history that went all the way back to the commencement of the 20th century. And he finessed that into an American pastime, and a true American pastime. It was not imported cars. It was not foreign technology. He understood what he wanted to do, and he really felt that the gross national product of this United States was based upon the motor car, and the romance to it, so much of it was based on cars that you could identify with, and the Fords and the Chevys and the Studebakers in those days, and the Hudson Hornets and all of that. And he knew enough to put big numbers on the side of them and look remedial, but he understood that to make it identifiable to the audience, and they could easily understand it. And as the speeds got projected up when they finally ran that first Daytona race, and people thought those were incredible speeds, and how could you read the numbers on the car when they went by? Well, you could still do it. And all of those little things that France Sr. thought about putting play created the basis for the entire growth. And Billy took it over, and Billy was astute as a business guy. In the case of Big Bill, Mrs. France, she was the bookkeeper, and she really was the bookkeeper, and Big Bill was the idea guy. But in the case of Billy, he was pretty much both. He had a keen eye for what the business was, how to manipulate, how to get where he wanted to with television contracts and radio contracts. And so now Brian comes along. It's a different time in the world, and no longer are we competing as racing against other racers. We were doing exactly what France Sr. had said. That he said, we get up there to the year 2000, we're going to be right up there with the NFL and baseball. And of course he was wrong. He missed by about 6 months. That was stuff he was saying when I first went to Daytona. Believed it, made it work, was very successful. So Brian comes along, and there's been all of this growth. And whenever there's that much growth, it's sort of like the stock market. It'll flatten out, it'll plateau, and then it will go down, like the stock market has in the last week or two. Last few days. But the point being that when 2008 came and the economy went to hell, that was a tough road to hoe. Mm-hmm. There's a completely different person that is now that is the challenge. When we all grew up around cars. We could work on them. Could open the hood, and we could fool around in there and fiddle and fuss, and think we could get some more horsepower out of them and make them handle better. When you open a hood on a car today, hello?
Right.
And the other thing is that today, kids grow up, and there's no big deal about getting a driver's license. And you hear that all over the country. Kids today don't yearn, and the only thing in your life was to be old enough to go and get a driver's license.
Right.
And over again, both young men and young women, they don't give a hoot. Maybe we'll get it, maybe we don't. And a lot of times you have to force a kid into getting a driver's license. They just don't want to have to fool around with it. Now, that's not how it was before. So when you're trying to deal with that and come up with ideas, then you're facing challenges that have never been faced before.
That's a good point. No, I was just saying that's actually a good point, and it is tough. Or kids today are just not, they're not as car people as we were.
That's exactly correct, and the figures back that up. That the 16-year-old today just as soon wait till he was 17 or 18, and boy, to have a car, even if it was an old sled, that was pretty trick.
That's right. I know I couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
So, when you look at the sport now, how it is now, do you miss the fun of and the camaraderie from back in the old days, or do you still see it as it's that way now?
That's not a fair question.
We won't tell anybody.
You know, I'm the guy that I remembered named Frank Blanc, who was the writer for the New York Times that I used to hang out with. He was the old guy, and we'd go to Steak and Shake and talk about all kinds of stuff. Great history. He was the automotive writer for the New York Times, and he'd come out of the Times-Picayune down there in Louisiana, and so he had great stories that all went back to World War I and all that kind of thing. Well, I'm not out with that crowd, and that crowd was a young crowd, and they could party hardy and go till 3 or 4 in the morning, and by damn be back at work at 6 o'clock and get her done. Which is, when you're young, you know, you do that. And when you get older, you're not so much a part of that. And I can't tell you, because I really can't, I accept that the corporation influence has been horrible. They have really turned a lot of guys with a lot of attitude and interesting stories into kind of vanilla, and they're protecting the corporate side of it. And that was not a factor so much in those days. There was awareness, but not like today, where every other word you say gets measured and counted, and how you smile and how you look, and did you throw tools around? Well, Jesus, Curtis Turner threw more tools around. And I mean, you get back in that era, and AJ, who was part of that with Curtis, he still can show you the bullet holes in old Robinson's bar in the ceiling when there was a difference of opinion. I mean, that doesn't, it may be going on, but we don't know about it, and I think there's a lot more pressure of a social type on these guys today than there ever was on them. They got away with a lot, there's no question, and it's just about impossible now because they're under such incredible scrutiny. And I don't know if that's good or bad, but there are very few that can stand up and act like a Mark Martin, who's pretty straight shooter, pretty much right down the road. What you see is what you get, and it's 100%. Which you can also say about Tony Stewart, who's a character.
You got that right.
You need more characters, and they're there. And I'm sure that when they're out among themselves, they can be characters. But they also know that a lot of how they're judged today is not just about how they run that car, because when you get to that group of 43, now you're talking about the best orchestra in the world, kind of music, and any one of them are capable. There aren't any in there that are flukes. They're damn good, or they're not there.
Well, we appreciate your time tonight and letting us talk to you, and I hope I can get you back on here again and delve a little more into your past and get some more insight from you.
Well, my past is my present and is my future. I'm up here in Vermont, and we just got 10 inches of new snow.
Oh, well, we just had a big snow down here, and we're not used to it, and we're not used to snow, so we don't want no more.
I don't know what snow is.
I know.
You're right.
Well, we appreciate your time tonight, and we'll try to get you back soon and have you on here again.
Well, thank you very much. Enjoyed talking with you.
I appreciate it. Thank you a lot.
That was pretty cool. We could do a whole show.
I tell you, there's some people we can do that with.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be the guy that I would like to get back on here and just
Do a whole session.
Yeah.
He could ramble, he could tell you
A night
some
with Kid Squire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. And he'd be willing to do it. Because he really, I mean,
You got to get him started though. 'Cause
Yeah.
you had to crank him up there.
You got to prime the pump.
but he was the one that a couple weeks ago I wanted him to come on, and he said he would do it, and then he said, "Wait a minute, I can't do it because I'm gonna be at the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm doing the Hall of Fame thing. I can't do it then." And then I had him set up for last week, and he said, "Well, I can do it, but I may be doing something." I think he had a dinner or meeting or something he was going to. He said, "But I may be able to break loose long enough to come talk to you." I said, "No, we'll just do it later." And then he sent me an email.
Oh, really?
This week and said, "Are we still on?" He sent it to me last week. Are we still on?
Mason there.
I mean, he was really.
Mason, that's right.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, you're talking a guy that's been around from the beginning to present. I mean,
I'm gonna just be calling up Brad Parrott.
the amount,
okay.
The difference in where the sport started when he started and where it's at today is just—it's mind-boggling. I can't imagine Big Bill France, the vision he's seen.
Okay, now listen to me before you do this. Okay, right now I've got Mason on the line.
Uh-huh.
I don't know which number it was, whether that's a cell or home number, what have you. But anyway, go ahead and pull up on him, and then I'm gonna come over there and add Brad by the phone.
Okay, appreciate you doing come over and do that.
Yeah, okay. But you gotta watch. You gotta take notes now.
Okay.
We're gonna have a test on this after the show.
Mason Mitchell, how you doing?
Oh, this is Mason Mingus.
Mason, I'm sorry. I got the wrong name. I was reading another name here. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hey, you should have just went along with it and then screwed him up in the middle of it.
Tell us a little bit about your background and where you got started racing and everything.
I started racing quarter midgets when I was 7 years old, and then ran that for about 2 years and got to move up into mini cup, and from there, baby grams, and it was pretty successful running mini cups, baby grams, won a couple championships. Then got in the pro late model and was able to run that in the super late model for probably the past 5 years, and then got my start in ARCA in 2012, running a half season, and got to run the full season last year and finished runner up in the points. And we are going to run a full season in the shut season this year.
Well done. Well, good for you. Do you have who's your sponsor going to be for this year?
Call 811 before you dig. National number you call to locate underground utilities that to prevent underground damage. If you're going to go plant a tree in your backyard or whatever it may be, call them, look them out, locate it, and help avoid a lot of accidents.
That's pretty good. Did so starting out your first season in ARCA and finish second? That's pretty good.
Yeah, we were really happy with it. National Sean did a great job putting together really strong cars all year, and there was a lot of races that we were sitting there ready to win and had good enough cars to win. Cars never fight a line perfectly for us. But we chased that Kimmel, and he's definitely one of the toughest to beat. After series, being one championship.
Yeah, obviously.
We definitely went out with the intention of winning the championship and felt like we were capable of it. But we'll go
That's supposed to be Mason.
throughout the season, and hopefully it's going to carry over a lot moving into the Shark Series.
So how big is it to have Brad Parrott that is going to be on your pit box for your first season in the Truck Series with the wealth of knowledge, experience, and the family resume that he has?
Well, I think you may have the wrong guy. Mason Mitchell is going to be running for Brad Parrott at Mason Mitchell Motorsports.
Now why are we getting mixed up here?
I don't know how that all happened.
We got the wrong information on our screen.
We got too many phone numbers on our phones.
You got the wrong guy. There's somebody. That's so funny. So who's your crew chief then?
The first one.
Mark Parrott, he came over to work for Winchon last year to do my ARCA series deal, and then he's going to also
move with you. Okay, well that's good. So then you already have a relationship with him. Now, who are you driving for? Are you driving for somebody, or you guys got your own team?
Tell them we get him.
Winchon Racing. He's been running ARCA series for I think since about 2007, and
we are going to be their first full-time truck ride. We ran 3 truck races with them last year, and then they've run a few in the past. But for the most part, they were in our team.
Okay, so they're somewhat new to the truck series then.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I guess you're already qualified to run all the Daytona and stuff.
Yes, sir. I ran Talladega last year in the truck, along with got certified through the ARC series running Talladega and Daytona.
I got you. So what is your goals for this season coming up then?
We're really going to try to battle for Rookie of the Year. Hopefully that we can win Rookie of the Year, but also, we plan on trying to take the best trucks we can to the racetrack every week and really go for it. Hopefully we can knock off win or more. And, I think if we can be leading the Rookie of the points, I don't see any reason that we can't contend for a championship would be our ultimate goal. But we're really going after Rookie of the Year.
All right, do you, we're going to wind it down, or do you have any sponsors you want to thank for your upcoming season? And do you have anybody else besides the 811?
Yeah, Diamond Equipment and Calling on Before You Dig are definitely our big sponsors. I'd like to give a big thanks to them, and also our new partnership that we formed with Toyota. We'll be running Toyota Thunders all year, and they've been very helpful to us.
Well, when you go over, are you guys getting Toyota engines from those guys too?
Yes, sir. PME builds our Toyota engines for the truck.
Okay. All right, well, we appreciate having you on, and sorry for the confusion.
Yeah, is this Mason Mitchell? Good.
I appreciate you guys having me.
All right, man, appreciate it. Thank you a lot.
Wrong number. We got another driver that we called in on the show.
I was confused as hell.
So anyway, hang on a second. I'm going to put you on hold. We're going to switch you over live, okay? Then we'll call Brad and bring him in.
The PR lady is the same for both of them. And she gave me both those numbers.
All right, got Mason Mitchell this time.
Oh, that's weird. Well, ask him.
Mason Mitchell, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
We got the right one this time. I got a number from somewhere that evidently...
Do you have a PR lady that has somebody else named Mitchell?
No, Mason.
Mason. No, we're screwed up as hell now.
Anyway, we're back with you now.
We're finally with you.
How you doing?
I'm doing fabulous. What's at the shop? What you guys up to?
Well, we're just sitting here trying to figure out how we screwed this whole thing up, and it's very unusual for us to do that.
That's all good.
Okay. Well, this is Jack Dodson. I've talked to you a couple times. Got Scott Allen and Roger Brehm here tonight. And what we'd like to do is you tell us a little bit about your background and your history, and tell us, how you got started racing.
All right. You want me to start going now?
Yeah, go ahead. We're ready.
All right, yeah. Well, I'm Westmoreland, Iowa. I raced when I was about 5 on dirt bike. My first dirt bike around age 5, and raced locally and traveled a little bit with arena cross stuff until about 9, and then car racing and got a mini cup car. Started doing that. Had a lot of there with wins. Then moved up to about late models. Around 14, 15. Didn't run as much there. Ran it all out of my garage back home, and local stuff, and toured a little bit, and then I got the opportunity to race some market stuff. Put up in 12 and did really well on that, and ever since then I kind of been doing more and more, and last year ran almost full time, and this year going full time, and hopefully we can contend for the championship.
So how is it going to be, or no, say how's it going to be? How nice is it going to be to have Brad on the pit box for you guys?
It's going to be, that's the key aspect. Brad brings a lot of experience over from other NASCAR kind of things and a lot of success over, and that's what we need in a good leadership role. So, so far, everything's been working out really, really good, and we're all excited to get down to Daytona here in a couple days.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine it gets a whole lot better than that to have somebody on the pit box with the experience that he's got to different things, to like running Daytona where you probably don't have a lot of experience at.
Yeah, exactly. It's very important.
Now you've moved. Your operation is now in North Carolina, right?
Thanks for Motorsports, yes, and it's all located in North Carolina.
So, and you're still in Iowa. Do you stay with the team very often, or are you down there now or whatever?
Yeah, I'm down here right now. I go back and forth. I still live back home, and I have a place down here I live at too. So I'm down here a lot. Down here, I'm back home too. So it's all been working out really good right now. So if it's not broke, I'll fix it.
Have you been doing any? Other than the Daytona test, have you done any other testing with your cars and working with Brad any?
Yeah, we did some tests, and then we had a Talladega test. I just prepped more for Daytona, and then that was the test that Brad and I worked together on. It was our first chance with everybody to work with Brad and I. So it went really well, actually, and we created a good bond and good chemistry flow, and we went down a lot of notes and looking forward to the race.
I sent a message back. The number was disconnected. Are you on your cell phone?
I am.
Are you able to text at the same time you talk?
I probably can. It might be a little hard.
All right. Well, they sent us the wrong number for Brad, and we're trying to call Brad, and he keeps saying disconnected. So.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Yeah, we were trying to get you and him both on here. Huh?
He's next. Did you say Brad's next to you?
Yeah, he's standing right next to me.
Oh.
Well, hell. Put that sucker on speaker.
Yes, how y'all doing?
Hey, Brad, how's it going?
It's going great.
Well, we're trying to get this thing worked out here. I got two different numbers from Tim, and the one number we called, it said you were disconnected, and then the other number we got somebody else. So
it was actually a part-time truck driver on the truck series.
So we've had a hard time here. So how's it going down there with you?
Everything's going great. I've been here 3 weeks now, and just coming in and making things happen really quick. Daytona is only a week away from us being there next Wednesday, and still got a few items to get into on this Daytona car, but it's a slick race car. Mason and his dad's done a great job putting the team together before I got here, and really impressed with everything that Mason Mitchell Motorsports is about. We're going to do it slowly, but we're going to go into this championship in the ARCA Series this year and look for a lot of wins, a lot of poles, and a lot of success out of our team.
Well, Brad, is this your first time you've been working with the ARCA team for a full season, or?
Yes. I told a lot of people if I would have known 29 years ago that I was going to go back to ARCA and start over, I would have slowed down a whole lot earlier than now. But it's really not. ARCA is a series just like NASCAR, and the competition is tough in ARCA. It's not going to be easy for us to take a brand new team and do what we think we can do. There's going to be some baby steps that we have to go through. But I'm excited about being part of the ARCA series and Mason Mitchell Motorsports and everything we're doing to make our team successful.
Well, this is a question basically for both of you. With the ARCA, the ARCA has so many different types of racetracks. Is that harder for you guys to get used to? That you go 1 week, you may be on a super speed like Daytona and Talladega, or down on a 1 mile track or short track and even a dirt track. How does that work out for the both of y'all now?
I would say, for myself as a driver, it's a lot of fun, and I can train to a lot, and be able to adapt to and overcome all that adversity. You go through going from Daytona to a short track like Mobile, then you get a road course, and you go to a 2 mile track like Michigan, and a dirt track. They're all really, I love them all. I just love getting experience there. Car setup wise, and getting stuff to Paris, a different story. Well, every race is a challenge to a crew chief and a driver. We take each track individually. There is a lot of different tracks on the schedule this year that I have never been to. I've never been to Winchester. I've never been to Toledo. There's a lot of tracks that I'm going to lean on Mason a whole lot about what he likes in the race car, those tracks and everything. But I look at every race and go win the race. So whether it's Toledo or
Salem or Mobile or Daytona, Talladega, Michigan, Pocono, all those tracks. I do have some experience with those other tracks, and with these cars, I was basically a car chief when we used to work on these type of bodies and everything that we run in ARCA series. So I'm excited about every racetrack we go to, and the team will be excited about every track we go to.
So, do you basically have an experienced team, or or is it basically a new team with new people involved and everything, or is it an experienced team?
Well, it's definitely the first time we've all worked together as a team. Matt Weber, my car chief, he is very experienced. He worked for another ARCA team last year, and then we have Tyler Mon that worked on ARCA teams as a tire changer and stuff. So mainly, all of our guys are new to the ARCA series, but we have a good group of guys here that are well-rounded in the jobs that they do, and I'm gonna lean on every one of them. I like to say that I'm hiring people that are smarter than me around me to make me look better. But the case is we all have a job to do, and we have to do it to the best of our ability.
How many races, Mason, have you been in the ARCA series so far, and what is the learning curve for you as far as the different types of tracks for you? What do you have to do to really get a feel for them?
Yeah, I've been in about I think 22 ARCA races, but you just gotta go into each race, especially when you're a rookie. You've never been to a place with open mind and all about learning stuff and taking advice from anybody you can, especially you talk to Frank Himmel and stuff like that. He's been in the track a million times, but you get to learn as much as you can and take all the good out of it. And you take the bad and you take the mistakes that you made and you learn not to make those again. But this year, after this will be my sophomore season, so definitely I feel more prepared going into this season, mentally, physically, and with all the data that happened last year. So I'm looking forward to it.
What is your grand plan for yourself down the road? What would you like to see yourself doing down the road, and how soon do you think you want to move along?
Well, I want to be a NASCAR Sprint Cup driver, but I have no time limit. A lot of guys they want to be there next year, which it's all about how far you can go at every moment, and you're just gonna take each race as your last race and do it as best you can. But it'd be awesome to have an opportunity next year. But realistically, you got to do the best you can this year, and whatever happens, sport racing changes every second. So we got good partners behind us in thermal technology services, and they came on board this year, and hopefully grab more in most years and go up the ladder with those guys.
Brad, who builds your engines and everything for your team, and what kind of car do you have?
We're going to be running the Ford Fusion this year, and Roush takes care of the motors. We will be running the FR9 motor at all the races, and very strong motor program. We have some technology with the Ford Motor Company to help us out in some different areas as far as slow down, seven posts, and wind tunnel time, and some things like that. So we're going to use them. They're looking at us to be one of their top 4 teams in ARCA. They don't put a whole lot of support for us, but they do give us time at this position, where we need them. But overall, the car, the last time I won 5 races back in 2005, 2004, and 5 with Greg Dutton and Carl Edwards. It just so happened to be Ford Fusion. So really excited about being back with Ford.
Other than the motors and what you get from the Ford Motor Company, do you all get anything else like from Roush Fenway as far as any tech experience or anything like that from them?
No, everything is independent. With the ARCA series and everything. As we move up the ladder, like Mason said, we'll align ourselves with the right companies and the right people, the right teams to move Mason along. So I'm looking for Mason to go out and do very well this year, and 2 years ago, I had a kid named Ryan Blaney that happened to drive my Nationwide cars, and he got picked up by Penske really quick. So if that happens to Mason, then I guess I might find another driver to move up again. But no, that's our game plan, is to move up in each series, whether it be truck, Nationwide, and then, you know, build this team to one day go cup racing. But, you know, it's really hard to go cup racing, you know, without $20 million a year. And, you know, we're going to take our time getting there, and we're going to build this team and make it very strong at the ARCA series. And, you know, like I said, we're going to start with baby steps and move our way up.
Brett, you've got a long history in the sport for yourself, and of course your brother and your dad being in the sport like they have. What are some of the things that you see back in the ARCA that used but be like the old time in NASCAR? You know, is there some correlation there that the way things used to be in NASCAR that ARCA's doing now?
Yes, less people. Less people. And working past 5 o'clock. That's what ARCA series is all about. Is the young, hungry drivers in ARCA series and the team are trying to get their drivers to be Red Cup stars one day, and it just takes a lot of hard work, dedication, and believing in everything you do to get to the next level. And you know, the cars are the same cars as we used to run. You know, got another young driver, 19-year-old Mason Mitchell here, and it's just where we go next. It's just what we're waiting to see. Can't wait to get to Daytona.
So what racetracks are you guys looking forward to, and what racetracks are y'all not looking forward to this year?
We're looking forward to every single one of them. I mean,
that's a good answer.
I mean, there's ones, you know, I like a lot. I've had a really good matchup before. I mean, I look at, you know, each track you go into, you have an opportunity to showcase what you're made of. So, you know, if we finish, you know, have a bad weekend, we can't let that drag us down. You know, you put that behind us as soon as the hauler gets loaded up, and the next day, Monday morning, it's a fresh day. You debrief and you move on. And so, we're definitely excited about each race, and we feel like we can succeed at each track we go to.
All right, well, we appreciate your time tonight and spending time with us, and hopefully we can get you back on the show real soon, hopefully after an ARCA win.
I appreciate it. Sounds good. Hopefully in a week or so.
All right, well, and we're hoping for you.
He's got confidence.
It's good confidence. And Brad, thank you a lot for your time, too. We appreciate that.
Not a problem. Anytime, guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Well, that was a heck of a start there.
I don't know where that got screwed up. I really don't, because I got the numbers right here.
Was that Mason Mingus? Was it the guy?
The first one was Mason Mingus.
I remember, as he was saying, I remember signing a deal with the 811 on the car on the truck, and I remember a little bit running a few. They ran a few races and
I'm telling you,
full season, and I was like, what the. It really threw Richard when I said Brad, and he's like, no, you're talking about.
Yeah, that messed him up.
Yeah, that messed me up because
I had to see him.
That's the number.
We'll see him at Martinsville.
Yeah.
I had to say something to him. So we got to call.
All right, I'm gonna get ready to go ahead and give Tommy a call here.
I knew this show was gonna go long. I just knew it was.
Well, it wouldn't have gone long if I got it right.
Really?
Well, I don't know. We were already kind of behind with Ken.
Well, the thing about it is, I mean, I talked with Mason Mitchell a half a dozen times. But to get Brad, I had to go through the PR guy, Tim Clegg, and somehow or other the numbers got screwed up.
Mason wouldn't give you the number? Or
well, see, the thing is, they want you to go through the PR person to set it up. And that's fine. I mean, I didn't have a problem. But then I got it set up, and then I started talking with Mason Mitchell, you know, and then...
Good, I'm going to put you on hold. We'll put you on live. Okay.
Let's talk racing. Welcome to Tommy Baldwin. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. You got Jack Dodson here along with Scott Allen and Roger Brehm. And it's great to have you on, and I know you're kind of busy and kind of tired being down in Talladega all day.
Yeah, it was a good test. I heading home and get ready for the Daytona 500. Truck's got to leave on a week from today, so we got a lot of work to do.
You know, you have got a lot going on there this year. You've made a lot of new changes and new people and stuff like that. And I think you've done a great job building your team to where it's at today. But it's got to be a hard thing to do, the way you had to go slow to build it up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially for how what I've the things that we've accomplished as me being part of different teams over the years and having the funding to do everything the right way. Yeah, you definitely had to take a lot of steps backwards in order to start moving forward for sure. But I knew it going in. I knew what the uphill battle was going to be from the start, and I've watched a lot of teams come and go in this sport and come in and spend a lot of money immediately and be out of the sport so quick. So I just watched everything the way it was working over the years, and I knew if I was in order for me to make it, I was going to have to build it slow and try to stay in business and keep racing, and so far it's worked.
Well, how hard is it to go slow and really with the competitive spirit that I know you've got and the wins that you've gotten along the way, to try to be competitive every week and try to be out there, to be the best you can be?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for sure, but you have to look at the checks and balances, and you have to also look at the things that you're also achieving while all this is going on. So just you got to move very slow. It's been a building process, and hopefully next year we're even stronger than we are this year, and the year after that, so on, so on. So it's just we have to take these steps. It's what we have to do. We don't really have a choice, and we're going to do it.
Now you've got Michael Annette and the sponsor of the Flying J sponsorship. That's a good thing that you've got that signed, sealed, and delivered. So that team is good to go, right?
It is. We got some more stuff we're going to be announcing with that car here shortly as well, and then the 36 was putting together all that stuff now, so hopefully we'll get some stuff out in that pretty soon too. So we're excited about the new season, and we can't wait to get started.
And you've got two very, very experienced and very well-known crew chiefs to come over to help you with Bono Mannion and Todd Parrott. That's got to be a big help too.
It is. It's allowed me to step back a lot and work on the things that we need to do to get better on the business side, and make sure I provide them with enough tools to do their job. So, yeah, I mean, it's a huge lift off my shoulders, so to speak, and yeah, I mean, it's good for me.
Yeah, I noticed. I see you at the racetrack, and you've got so many things going on at one time, and also I think you were even doing crew chief in one of the cars, or spotting for one of the cars or something at all the races. So that's got to be hard to try to keep up with everything.
Yeah, it was, but it was out of necessity. I mean, it's just something I had to do. I just, when you don't have the money, or you don't have the people qualified enough to do anything better than what you are, it's hard to release those jobs and let somebody do it. We've been fortunate enough here this winter to have Bono and Todd come over and start that process.
Now, how did you come about with getting Reed Sorensen to come on board with the team this year? How did that come about? I mean, he's been out of the Cup Series for a little while, and all of a sudden you got him over there with you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the business side of it has something to do with it, the things that we're working on with that. But he's got a pretty good resume, and we're excited to have him on board driving the 36 as well. And it's unfortunate on one side it's unfortunate we couldn't put some things together with JJ, but it just wasn't there. We just didn't have anything going going strong enough that we could, we would know our team was going to stay alive. But, Reed's got some great credentials, and we had a good test with him today, and he's really excited. And Todd and Reed worked real well together today, so it's a good start for the season.
So with the 36er, do you have sponsorship on that car to where you'll be able to run all the races and everything with that car?
Yeah, we're working on it. I mean, we raced both cars every race last year, so I don't see any reason why we're not going to do it again this year as well. So, we've got a very much improved program. Guys have worked real hard back at the shop all winter long to make our program better and stronger. So we're excited.
Tommy, one of the first times I know you don't know who I am or don't remember me, but one of the first times I ever come in contact with you is when you were up in Richmond working with Junie Dunleavy. What was that experience like working up there with him?
I mean, it's actually it really helped me for what I'm doing now. To be honest with you, I mean, Junie's program back then was a very, very low funded team at that point, and you just had to stretch a lot of things further than you wanted to. So that was a big help, and being up in Richmond and being out of the scene of where everybody was, you had to build your own things, you had to do your own things, and it definitely helped to get to where I am today for sure.
How much of a I guess an agreement do you have or whatever with Richard Childers as far as them helping you with your stuff? Is it just a motor deal?
No, we get cars and parts and some engineering and engines. It's a much bigger program than we've had ever in the past. So the support's there, and we just have to build our tools around it to take advantage of everything.
How much? What else would you like to see your team get involved? I mean, get to within the next few years? Is there any chance that you get some full-time sponsorship that you may go even further with more cars or whatever?
Well, I mean, our goal right now is to build these two teams up to be very competitive, as competitive as they can be. We have some long-term goals, but obviously it has to all do with funding. We still have to work on getting our funding up to where the bigger teams are for sure in order to do that, but we're definitely heading in the right direction right now. So, someday we would all, as most teams would love to do, is just be able to stand on their own, not have to buy cars or pieces from anybody, or not have to have engines built from somebody else. You'd want to have all that stuff done under your own building and on your own roof. So, are those long-term goals? Oh, sure they are. How long, I have no idea, but I know that's definitely on our radar.
With all the changes that have come into play with the rules and stuff for this coming year, what are some of the things that you're looking at that's going to be tough for your team, or what's going to benefit your team?
Well, I don't see anything that's real crazy, to be honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of exciting things that NASCAR has put in place for us this year, for sure. The qualifying stuff is very exciting. The point stuff could be very exciting if you win a race and put yourself in that position and take advantage of what they laid out there for sure. But I don't think. I think all of our areas this year are much stronger than last year and in the past. So we're looking forward to everything. So to be honest with you.
But Tommy, this is Scott. I have a tremendous amount of respect for you starting a team at a time when the economy was probably at its lowest, and I can imagine a lot of people told you were crazy. So it's just kind of funny how many people told you were crazy, and then who you worked for prior to starting your own team. Who did you learn the most from for the business side of it?
Oh man, you picked up on a lot of different things. All the car owners I've worked for had different ways of going about things. Bill Davis was much more reserved than Brehm was, and Junie Donlevy, he was just always watching the budget and paying attention to the money and making sure we weren't spending so much. So I mean, I've learned a lot from each car owner to get me where I am for sure. Yeah.
What's one of your fondest memories or one of your embarrassing moments in racing? Do you have any? I knew I usually have one.
There's a lot of them.
Got a whole nother show just for those.
I mean, we've gotten into trouble over the years for sure. Some fighting and some loose lug nuts on pit road, and having being all that on TV was definitely a little embarrassment. But winning the Daytona 500 was huge for us, and winning all those other races were as good as well. But it's just the exciting part about it is just building the program to getting where it is and being successful, and that's what I'm really enjoying right now. It's very stressful. It's definitely not easy. And yeah, you touched on it earlier. Yeah, I am nuts to doing all this, but thinking about all this. But hey, this great country we're in is built on taking chances and running with them. And I could definitely sit back and say, yeah, I definitely have taken some chances and run with them for sure.
Hey, you're living the American dream.
It depends on what day it is.
Well, I can understand that. I own a small auto repair shop, so I can, sometimes it's tough, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing.
Yeah, hopefully when it's all said and done, I'll say that. I wouldn't trade it for nothing, but, it's just a constant battle every day. It's a lot of juggling on things, but I mean, it's all good. It's pretty hard to complain when you're doing your hobby for a living, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you just going to have the two drivers this year? Because I know the last couple of years you've kind of have had quite a few people in and out of the seat.
Yeah, I mean it looks like that for now. I mean definitely the 7 car will have the same driver in it. The 36 we might do something different for the road course.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Reed's obviously got plenty of experience everywhere, so we'll see what happens there.
Well, I tell you, it's been great to talk to you tonight. I really admire what you've done with your race team, and I think it's great, and I hope that somewhere down the road soon all the good stuff comes to you.
Yeah, I mean, it already has. It's been fun. You look back these past 5 years of, they've flown by, I guess. To look how we started and where we are today, it's pretty cool. But I know we have a long way to go, and we're going to keep digging.
I got one other question. When you first started, Tommy, and you said you had a lot of people to just kind of come by and volunteer because they were out of work, how did that make you feel? I imagine that could be pretty honored to have people to come by just to help you succeed for for no pay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, were out of work, and they were hoping that we would get some things going, and obviously if they come and working for free, and given their time, we'd get them all hired, and we gave the first 6 people I hired. When I sat down, I told them I was going to do this, and asked them if they were in or out. 5 out of the 6 people are still working for me, so. Plus some of those guys that started working without any pay and wanted to help. There's a couple of them still there today. So, it was pretty cool.
All right, well, we appreciate your time. We know you've been busy, got a lot going on.
Plus he's driving.
And plus you're driving up the road. So really hope that everything works out good, and hopefully we'll see you soon at the racetrack.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, well, we got through this.
You got to admit, though, I mean, he has done something that a lot of people haven't been able to do.
Listen, I met him when he was at Johnny Junior Donald level. They was struggling up there trying to keep a car running. So I knew that.
And I talked to him several times at Everingham. I know he don't know who I am, but.
Oh, no, and I forgot I wanted to ask him why did he turn down, because he had the opportunity there to be Jeff Gordon's crew chief, and he decided not to.
I don't know.
I mean, it could be, I don't know. I mean, that was
you blew it. You had your chance to ask.
I think he just wanted to do his own.
Well, I think he did, and I can admire that. But
I think he wanted that all along, just to be his own person.
Yeah. But that would be hard to turn down, though. I mean, because that's a pretty big opportunity, especially at that time. It wasn't like it's you going in there now, or Jeff is on his later years. I mean, he was in his heyday. Not that he can't win a race, obviously, but that was
this is
just out of his heyday.
This is probably Jeff's swan song this year or next year one, and I would like to see him be competitive. That's and try to win a few races and maybe be in the chase again.
I think he can, and I think he will.
I mean, he's got all the money and power and everything else that Hendricks can put behind him, so he's got the ability and the chance to do it. But the thing about good luck and bad luck, if it weren't for bad luck, you'd have no luck at all.
That's right.
Well, I mean, that's true. I think sometimes we, as veterans, we get used to the way things used to work. Well, that worked when we did it years ago. But those things don't work anymore.
Nope.
You find every little thing to tweak in that car. Yeah. I mean, just with a little ripple along the side can cause too much side force.
And they run these cars so free today. I mean, I remember when we run late miles, I don't know about you, that, our cross was 50, some guys run 57%. I mean, now we're running these things down to high 30s, low 40s. I mean, you're over 45. When I first started arena racing, I was talking to some guys, he's like, well, what's your cross? 48 or so. He's like, no, you need to bring it down. I'm like, well, how down do you need to get? You gotta, they just run these things so free today.
He was probably trying to tell you need to get it down so you won't keep putting people in the fence.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
It would just slide it
he just wants to put you in the fence all day long.
That's all right.
He wants to be your spotter that night, okay? You're clear high.
No, that would be good.
You're clear high. Oh no! I'm sorry about that.
Again, Scott.
Something was in my eye.
Now, let me spot for you that for one night, and I guarantee you it'll be good.
It'll be good for the people there watching.
Yeah. Don't lift when you go in this time.
You got plenty of somebody's outside of you.
Good enough doing. We'd probably be laughing so much on the radio.
Here come Probin. You better watch it.
The first time I got in the car, we ran out at Langley outside on the go-kart track, and they used to run them out there. Eric that owns the car, he says, you need to come out there and run outside and get some experience in the car before we go inside and run. And the first practice, he's on the radio. He's like, look, that guy, he's right, man. He's right on you, man. You need to dig, man. You need. I don't see that left rear wheel picking up. Man, he must. I'm driving that thing for all it's worth. I mean, I'm driving it as hard as I can. I'm just driving as hard as I can. And he's studying, man. He's all over you. By the time I get to looking, and the guy who was behind me is on the back stretch. I done pulled him a half a car, I done half a racetrack. I said, you lied, son of a gun.
Whatever it takes to keep you digging. That's what it is.
We were just practicing.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
practice digging hard when you gotta dig hard.
I said, I thought you said that guy was all over me. He said he was. I said, I seen him going down the back stretch when I was going down the front stretch. He just got grinning just as big.
Well, the word was, not is, was.
Yeah, he was when he was telling me he was on my bumper. I got looking over, I said, that's the damn guy that was behind me.
No, the bad part is if you catch it up behind him, you get ready to lap him. I thought you said he was behind me.
Yeah, it was so funny. He just laughed.
Oh, God. All right, that was a nice long show, hour and 20-some minutes. Still cracking. But anyway, we enjoyed it. Hopefully y'all did too. We'll catch everybody next week. As long as we ain't snowed under by a bunch of snow. Let's Talk Racing. You can catch these shows at youtube.com/pitwall or just go to the website letstalkracing.tv. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Here's your 2011 champion, David Brehm.
Hi, this is David Polens, driver of the 33 NASCAR Late Model, 2011 Old Dominion Speedway Track Champion. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, driver 42 car on the thing Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N Lady Eagle Safety Wear, Butler Built Seats, Bell Helmets, Hooker Harness Seatbelts, number 94 at South Boston Speedway. Be sure to listen to Let's Talk Racing TV.